Good afternoon, my News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for February 25, 2024. And in the news this afternoon, cold front expected to impact Jamaica by Monday. Jamaica is expected to be impacted by a cold front that should move into the vicinity of the island by Monday, according to the Meteorological Service of Jamaica. The Met Office said on Saturday evening that the colder front will bring cooler temperatures on Monday and Tuesday, especially in northern parishes. It added that most of the parishes will be affected by periods of showers on Monday afternoon, which will become isolated in parishes to the north and the east of the country on Tuesday afternoon. Flooding associated with a colder front earlier this month resulted in billions of dollars in damage to infrastructure in western Jamaica. The unusual weather brought with it 15 to 20-foot waves and ravaged the properties such as Pier 1 Restaurant and the newly constructed $1.3 billion Harmony Beach Park in St. James and the West End Road in Negril, Westmoreland. Kingston man arrested for alleged gun attack on sound system operator. A man who allegedly attacked a sound system operator with a firearm last summer was arrested and charged by the Kingston Western Police on Friday, February 23. The man, 20-year-old Jamar Miller, otherwise called the Scene, a warehouse worker of Racecourse Lane, Kingston, has been charged with wounding with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and unlawful wounding. The Denham Town Police report that about 6 p.m. on Friday, July 28, 2023, the complainant had just finished playing his sound system in Wilton Gardens in Kingston when Miller approached him. Miller allegedly pointed a firearm at the complainant and opened gunfire. A struggle ensued and the firearm reportedly fell to the ground. Miller then allegedly used a knife to inflict wounds to the complainant's leg before fleeing the scene. After more than 6 months on the run, Miller was arrested and charged following an interview in the presence of his attorney. His court date is being finalized. Man arrested and the firearm and ammo seized during operation in St. James. An intelligence-led operation resulted in the seizure of one firearm, several rounds of ammunition, and the arrest of one man in Akitree Lane in Green Pond, St. James on Saturday. Reports are that between the hours of 10 a.m. and 1:30 p.m., members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaica Defense Force carried out a search operation at a man's home in Akitree Lane after receiving information that the man allegedly trafficked illegal weapons and ammunition into the country. Police said during the search of a room which the suspect occupied of the 5-bedroom house, a 9mm Taurus GC3 pistol was found along with 59mm cartridges, 2 12-capacity Taurus magazines, and 1 extended Taurus magazine. Additional information found in the man's cellular phones suggested that he recently had 4 handguns in his possession and approximately 650 rounds of ammunition, police reported. The man's identity is being withheld pending further investigation. JLP under pressure, says Golding. People's National Party President Mark Golding says the ruling Jamaica Labour Party has come under pressure, forcing Prime Minister Andrew Holness to campaign at odd hours. Comrades, it all begins on Monday. We don't win yet. They are going to try to do everything they can do. You know, see, the Prime Minister is out about 2:30 in the morning campaigning. You see what pressure do? What pressure do? Pressure bust pipe, Golding said during his final day of campaigning on Saturday for tomorrow's local government election. Them never rate we none at all, but trust me, we put them in a corner, so they had to call this election. And once them call it, we run with it, and we are deal with it, and we are going to take it to them on Monday. I am confident that we will be victorious. I feel the wave of power in the people of Jamaica, expressing itself in an orange form, and we are going to do it on Monday, Golding told the PNP supporters in Cobbler Square, Manchester. Cobbler is part of the Walderstand division, which is being contested by the PNP's David Knight and the JLP's Leroy Lizzie Mitchell. Former PNP Member of Parliament for Manchester North Eastern, Calvin Lynn, told the comrades to support Knight. I'm here to give you some lyrics. The man who held the seat up to last week, them call him Lizzie. Well, David, my namesake is going to make him dizzy. My next few lyrics is that the PNP symbol is the head. You have a head and you use a head and vote for the head. Because without a head, you are go dead, said Lynn, who is also a renowned undertaker. Earlier, before Golding's arrival, Lynn told the PNP supporters not to pay attention to the name of the party's candidate. Put the X before the head. Nobody look for the name of the candidate. That's not important. They put the symbol there because some people can't read and write, said Lynn. Golding, in his address, told the supporters that the PNP is going through a massive revival. Now we are going to settle down and knuckle down and ready ourselves for what we have to execute on Monday. Monday is a serious day. Monday is not a day for celebration before everything's set and everything in place and the work has been done. I beg you, just focus on whatever task is yours. Focus on it and execute it well, he said. Comrades, I have been traveling all over this island, and I can tell you the PNP is going through a massive revival right now. The energy turn up, the passion is there, the determination to see change. People want something new, they want something different. They are tired of this rotten government. We have the most corrupt government since independence, added Golding. Following the Spotty meeting in Cobbler, Golding was scheduled to address supporters in Belfield and the Royal Flat. Disciplinary charge hangs over NEPA inspector in Barnett's development saga. An internal disciplinary charge now hangs over the head of the enforcement inspector who first flagged the breaches at the controversial housing development undertaken by a senior public officer and his wife. Ryan Henry, the inspector employed to the State Regulatory Authority, National Environment and the Planning Agency, has been charged with gross misconduct for inefficient work performance, his industrial relations representative, Senator Lambert Brown, disclosed on Friday. It is alleged that Henry failed to carry out established enforcement procedures at the apartment complex constructed by Mark Barnett, president of the state-owned National Water Commission, his wife Annette, and the developer Philip Smith at 11 Charlie Mount Drive in St. Andrew. The Barnetts never faced a criminal prosecution for breaches uncovered at the complex because authorities waited too long to file charges against them. NEPA has indicated that dismissal is not among the punishments being contemplated in Henry's case, Brown noted. The charge is the result of a disciplinary investigation conducted by NEPA. The findings of the investigation and the details of the allegations were handed to Henry on Friday. When he returned to work after 37 days on interdiction, Brown revealed during a news interview. There is no indication whether the investigation recommended disciplinary action against any other employee, as calls on Friday to NEPA's Chief Executive Officer, Peter Knight, went unanswered. Brown, a longtime trade union leader, said that the enforcement inspector has been given 10 days to enter a plea and signaled that the regulatory body will have a fight on its hands. My advice to him is that he is to plead not guilty and requested that an inquiry be conducted, he said, making reference to Henry. I will vigorously defend his rights in that matter when it comes up. The decision by NEPA to lay a charge against Henry comes more than 3 years after he first flagged major breaches at the apartment complex and reported them to higher-ups at the environmental regulatory body, according to the findings of an investigation conducted by the Integrity Commission. The IC is Jamaica's main anti-corruption body. On December 17, 2020, during a 7th visit to the construction site, Henry detected that the layout had deviated from the drawings that were approved, received and date stamped by NEPA on July 3, 2019. In a scathing 90-page report made public last October, the IC noted that the apartment complex, now listed as completed, has 6 two-bedroom units and 6 three-bedroom units in breach of the permits issued. The building, planning and environmental permits issued to the Barnetts on August 13, 2019 were for the construction of 2 three-story blocks consisting of 12 one-bedroom units, the IC report revealed. The breaches observed by Henry were communicated to the Barnetts in a warning letter written by Carlene Martin, acting manager of NEPA's Environment Division. Nearly 9 months later, Marjorie Wallock, director of NEPA's Legal and Enforcement Division, wrote to the Barnetts requesting that they submit applications to the relevant authorities seeking an amendment consequent of the project's departure from what was approved. The Barnetts did not comply, despite an undertaking from Annette Barnett, that they would, according to the IC report. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, in a legal opinion made public in January, indicated that the allegations against the NWC boss and his wife, an attorney, supported the filing of criminal charges against them, but said the 12-month window for doing so had already elapsed. Following that decision, NEPA wrote to Henry, indicating that he was being placed on interdiction with a 20% salary cut to facilitate a disciplinary investigation into allegation of gross misconduct, the news first reported, citing the letter signed by Director of Human Resources Management and Development, Caroline Hamilton Reed. But the regulatory body quickly backtracked amid wide public outrage, and after Brown raised objections that the actions were unlawful. Public commentators have questioned whether the enforcement inspector was being made the sacrificial lamb for NEPA's failure to prosecute the Barnetts within the 12-month time frame stipulated in its legislation. Brown said he is concerned that the investigation focused on the enforcement inspector and not everybody who may have played a role in this issue. He is returning to an environment where there are people who in one way or another could be impacted by a full investigation where the truth is revealed, he told the news, while noting that Henry is happy to be back on the job.